aminals! Hooray for aminals! Yay!
Animal people.
All right, since it's still not drunk o'clock yet, we're animals, and then when you've had enough, you're aminals. That's the code word. If you go to someone, I'm totally an aminal right now, the other person's job should be to get you water. Or vodka. It depends on where you're planning your night to go.
Depends on whether or not you're Russian. And then you're Russian for the water.
Ah, boo! The crowd did a better pun than me. Boo! The crowd did a better pun. Does anyone here not like puns? Oh, good, you're in the right place.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're gonna either love them by the time this show is up, or you're gonna have a conniption.
I think you'll have a conniption.
You're gonna have a
conniption?
A conniption.
Yes.
You know, I think security teams all around have various stories for conniptions. Friendly door checker. Have you encountered anyone that's having a conniption yet over not having their badge?
Yes.
Have you threatened someone that you will have a conniption if they don't show their badge?
Yes.
Who here has ever volunteered in any way for a convention?
I was a microphone stand today.
You were what?
A microphone stand.
What was that experience like?
I hurt my arm standing there while they were sung, but it was nice being on stage listening to the thing and watching all the guitar picks as I try and figure out what chords you're using out of the 5 that I know.
The next job up from microphone stand is flagpole, and you do look tall enough to pull that off. Just wave flags, that's all you gotta do. You've never done like the flag spinner thing and like hit some kid that wandered too close?
I've not hit anyone.
And then you have the flag, so you get to throw the flag and go, foul!
I was a kid that was getting paid under the table for it.
Literally,
one time my parents freaked out because they actually calculated the tax, but most of the time they actually just handed me cash.
I want to just be handed cash.
I think that's part of the unbelievable.
What's worse is I was a kid, and I was oblivious, and I was innocent. I'm still innocent in a lot of ways, I keep finding out.
Are you also so oblivious?
And not as much, but I'm like super excited for my first paycheck as I come running out the door in the ghetto to my mom saying, look at the money I just got.
Imagine that as a parent, your kid running in and going, look at the money I just got, and it's a significant portion of money. What is the first thought that parent goes through? Do they go, yeah, little Johnny figured it out, or do they go, oh no.
This is a neighborhood where people get mugged and shot all the time,
So you mugged and shot someone as what, an 8-year-old?
No, but
you had a cap gun and someone just played along, like the Good Samaritan's like, oh, they're on their way to do a mugging later.
I'm waving money in that neighborhood, so mom's freaking out. I'm about to get shot.
That is maybe one of the worst things I have ever said. Kids practicing to oh, boy. Woo!
You should have heard the comedy stuff yesterday.
Okay. One, I'm from Chicago, so I really shouldn't be cracking those kind of jokes when the air is 70% bullets at any given day. Two, what's the name of this show?
The Late Night with Iggy.
Well, it's now called that. What was it originally called?
It's the late night
With Boozy. Boozy has had an issue, and Boozy has been TF'd.
No Boozy?
No, there's Boozy.
No Boozy
There's Boozy.
Bad choice?
Boozy. The essence of Boozy has been distilled into this bottle.
Boozy! Oh my god, Boozy is finally going to go deep inside of Alkali.
He's married.
You were all thinking it.
Look, at some point, every marriage has the list of, like, heck yeah, you get to do that, and they have the list of, okay, I'll understand if it happens, but, like, and you know how many times Alkali's on that list? Look, it was Alkali, it was a charity thing, there was alcohol, we bought tall new cages for all these lovely animals. But you did what? Look, let's focus on the charity right now here. What's going on back there?
You know.
Is this the point where I'm supposed to drink on stage?
Yes. Just drink.
Yeah.
Drink.
Drink.
This is going to come into play later. If you are over 21 or older and have your ID, you will see on a panel there is an alkalized libation appreciation panel, and there's a toast. We always teach everyone. So if you want to learn it ahead of time and be prepared, this is the Chicago toast. All right? So this is how we're going to start to kick this thing off, and hopefully it'll be ready to go by the time I'm done making a poor choice. All right, ready? The Chicago toast. Here's to you, here's to me, forever friends we will be, and if we ever disagree, fuck you, here's to me. Some people are really enthusiastic on the fuck you.
Aren't you supposed to be? I thought that's how you had to say it in Chicago.
It's because you can say it to anyone. Or the alcohol.
Honestly, if any of you haven't been to Chicago, there are so many social norms in terms of moving around as a pedestrian. I'm dribbling. There's so many social norms moving around as a pedestrian that if you're an out-of-towner, you might get told fuck you in like the least non-aggressive way possible. Let me demonstrate. Rules of the road. What is it? Slow traffic, keep to the right. This applies to Chicago sidewalks. Every so often, you will see someone who is glued to the glowing rectangle and has veered to the left. And you will see the people that are in the know that are not going to be impacted by it, that are waiting for it to happen. And they will go. And if they're not hitting a stationary object, someone's going to run into them and go, hey, fuck you. And they're just going to point. Like, it's as simple as that. And they point and move on. And the people, like, if this happens to a Chicagoan, we slip up every so often. I slip up. I'll look at the thing for directions a second too long. So I'll bump into someone. And I'll get the, hey, fuck you. I will immediately know. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I really earned that. And move on. And when you say you earned it, it makes the other person's day. You have just given that person, I corrected a social injustice. That is what you get. But if you have an out-of-towner...
Is that your fetish?
Correcting social injustices?
Correcting minor social injustices with rules of the sidewalk is my fetish. The rules of sidewalk etiquette is my fetish.
Someone make a meme of that quick.
Speaking of my fetish, hey Iggy. Hey. Iggy. Yay!
How y'all doing tonight? We got a really big show for us tonight. I'm actually playing the role of Steve Allen right now.
Who here knows who Steve Allen is?
Jaru does. You do.
Jaru, give us an woo. All right, that's confirmation enough.
Original host of tonight's show. So many of you may not know that. Well, you probably know now because Steve Allen is here. Boozy couldn't make it here this evening, so I'm his replacement. He's kind of stuck in a bus somewhere in the middle of... Is that my replacement?
That is the distilled essence of Boozy.
Put him inside you.
Oh, I thought he was stuck on a bus in New York with Paula Abdul and Jimmy Kimmel. This works. The spirit of Boozy.
Ink went back for some reason.
But yeah, we got a really big show tonight, and I have wonderful Dragor here as my co-host this evening.
Wonderful. That's a word that hasn't been used to describe me yet.
Well,
was that on camera? I get to use that now.
You do. We have a bunch of wonderful acts this evening. It's going to be a really fun show. What else hot's going on? Who's enjoying Furry? What a fun con. If there's any con I know that you can just let your tail hang out, it's this one.
Who here is a first-timer to Furry? Oh, wow! Awesome! Heck yeah!
Wow!
All right.
Oh, wow.
Who
What's
here,
that?
this is their first FurCon? Oh, wonderful,
Oh my
wonderful. All joking aside, there is all sorts of wonderful paneling in the con book. We have our con chair here, who is a first-year con chair. Give a round of applause for Poker. We'll torment you more later. Just savor this part.
Yeah, you get to enjoy this for a little bit. You get to enjoy my torment before we torment you.
Maybe you can scale up to 2 cons.
He already offered to co-chair.
So should we bring out our first act of the evening?
Sure. You want to take your seat behind the thingamajigger?
Yeah,
That's
I
a
do,
desk.
but I'm going to take the spirit of Boozy with me, if I may.
You may.
Oh, look, there I am, right there in
I don't
spirit.
condone drinking, but they should make an alcohol that has spirits of Boozy.
So the
Distilled boozy badger sweat after a tough case.
distilled boozy. Here, it just be called "Here Lies Boozy." In quotes, a lawyer.
I'm sure.
They already sell. There's a whiskey called Writer's Tears, and as soon as I saw that, I immediately sent it to many of my friends, who many of them immediately responded, "Oh, don't worry, we're acquainted."
You know what happens? So there's another drink that they have that's called Writer's Block. So what happens when you drink Writer's Tears and Writer's Block?
What happens?
You get a really wet wall. All right. So first off,
We have drank the Writer's Tears and Writer's Block to slur that delivery.
I wonder if it's actually a mixed drink, or you just drink one and then you drink the other. Just like you chase one with the other,
It's a perpetual chasing machine until you pass out.
and your basement's flooded.
You're trying to tear down the wall.
So our first comic this evening is one of my favorite comics. Chris, Comedy Buddy!
Oh, you have one already.
Yeah, no, maybe you got it.
Yeah, I'm not even.
Hello? Cool, there I am. Okay, that works. I'll just yell. Okay, here.
Yeah,
Lend me
change.
your mic.
Give me the terrible mic.
Lend me your mic. Hi, everyone. How are you doing today? Woo! Hooray! I'd yell along with you, but my voice is gone. So I got fired recently. That's been fun.
Why?
Nepotism and corporate greed. Like, really hardcore. Like, they were like, hey, we really like you. We want to keep you on. And then they were like, never mind. My brother needs a job. And I was like, oh, all right then, I guess. And then they fired me, and that was kind of dumb. And I'm not that mad, but then they blacklisted me from my career in the immediate area, so now I'm trying to move. And that's been fun. But since that's the case, do you guys want to hear me talk a little shit about my ex-coworkers?
Yeah!
Woo! Fun.
No, boo, gossip.
Yeah, that's so bad. Don't gossip. That's wrong. That's why they blacklisted me. They were afraid I was gonna. Now fuck them. Let's see. Oh, okay. I worked with one guy. He was a nice guy. Genuinely was a very nice guy. But the minute you started like hanging out with him, I work in AV, so like audio video stuff. So it's a lot of like fast-paced stuff. It's a work hard, play hard environment. So you wind up drinking a lot with your friends. And the minute you got this dude drinking, the minute he would start becoming a flat earther. But not like, he wouldn't be like, I believe in the flat earth. He would be like, oh, I don't know, it could be real. And I'm like, this is an interesting person. Let's test the limits of that. So I'd ask questions like, do you really believe in the flat earth? He's like, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, people do a lot of Photoshop stuff. Maybe those are shop photos from NASA. I don't know, could be. And I'm like, okay. Fair point. What about, like, all the evidence that the earth is round? Well, you know, I mean, things get spun in the media. And I go, yeah, like facts. I get that. And then he was talking about, he's like, well, there was one group that just got the machine, they all kickstarted a machine. It was a flat earther group. Kickstarted a machine to like get, to use math to prove that the earth is flat. You basically, with a giant pendulum, I think. I don't know. I don't believe in crazy shit. So they got the machine to prove the metric that it was going to be true. And he was like, well, they just got that. So, like, what about that? And I was like, you mean the thing that in the same documentary you're talking about, they waved away the information that they found because it proved that the earth is in fact round? And they tried it like 80 different times and it kept proving the earth was round? And the guy's like, don't bring it up. Just don't bring it up, please. And he's like, well, yeah, that's kind of how it works. And I go, all right, dude, that's fine. The same dude, I got sent on a gig with him to New York. And whilst in New York, we're like, you want to visit Ground Zero? He was like, yeah, sounds like a party. So we visited Ground Zero, and we were there visiting like the memorials and stuff. And it's like pretty solemn. And I'm not one to be like, oh, it's a sacred zone, don't joke. But like even still, it's a solemn zone, and like I'll be sitting there and I'll be reading the names and I'm like, yeah, this is crazy, and it's like quiet and somber, and I'll just hear him in the corner like, it was an inside job. I look at him like, not the time, dude. Like, we can talk about the jet fuel steel beam shit, but like, right now? And he's just like, I'm just saying. Yeah, not like that. He would love it. And, he starts going off, and I'm like, and he just starts going off about all this stuff really loud, like, well, Alex Jones said, and I was like, well, if Alex Jones said it. And he is going off, and I'm like, dude. And then he finally, it clicked with him, and he goes, oh yeah, people died. And I go, yeah, like regardless of why you think it happened or how it was orchestrated, a lot of people died, and we're like at the memorial. I was like, do you talk shit at funerals too? Do you? Because that's a little weird. He's like, no, I would never. And I was like, well then fucking read a room, dude. The other guy that I would work with, this dude did not believe in climate change. Honestly, thinking about it now, I'm probably happy I'm not working there anymore. This dude didn't believe in climate change. He's like, I don't know, it seems a little hokey. And I'm like, okay, sure. But he did believe in the concept that the sun is secretly getting closer, and that's why the world is warming up. And I was like, what do you mean getting closer? He's like, like it's getting closer just a few inches every year, and we just don't notice it. I'm like, what, like a fucking ninja? It's just sneaking up on you like a fucking Boo in Mario? Yeah. Not looking back. Huh? It's getting a little warm. What's going on? It's not just like, I'm gonna burn you. I'm gonna fucking burn you so hard. This glacier's fucked. It's just so weird. It was really weird. But I got shit to talk about. One more coworker. This guy, raised in the 70s, hardcore capitalist, real quintessential boomer. I do AV. There are different sections of AV. You are, if you're a lighting guy, you're a lighting guy. It's sometimes called a spark. If you're a sound guy, you're a sound guy, sometimes called a squeak. If you work with like scaffolding or rigging, you're called a rigger. That's just the name. And someone's ahead of me. So basically what happened was we were doing some regular stuff, managing lights or whatever. And one of the person that books all the gigs comes up to this guy who's been around for a while and goes, hey, Rich, do you know any riggers? Are you a rigger? I'm looking for a couple of riggers to sit on this next show. And I look over him, and he gets so mad. His face is turning red, and he's got like a... And I'm like, Rich, calm the fuck down. She's not Scooby-Doo. And he goes, oh. So yeah, I guess that's my time.
Oh God. Chris, comedy money. Thank you very much. Yes. Have a seat if you would.
Hey.
How you doing?
I was watching in the rafters.
Yeah.
There's rafters on this show in my mind.
More budget.
There's rafters on this show in my mind.
He's so rich.
Oh well,
we got no seats.
This mic work? I hope this mic works.
Is it on?
I don't know.
I handed it to you.
Am I on?
No, I think I turned it off. I have an instinct to do that.
Yes, it's on. All right, there we
There you
go.
go. Yeah.
We only have one mic, so we gotta kind of...
That's fine.
It's like a bad interview
Yeah.
when they do it on the news. Like, hey, what's the answer to this question? Oh, no, that's really nice.
That's like my favorite thing. They're like, how you, fuck you.
Or and then like bop it into them.
The ultimate power move is controlling the mic. So I'm staring at this light. What's up?
It's from the rafters.
The Raptors.
So I wanted to ask you. You're all over the Twitter. What's the hot thing on Twitter right now?
I don't know. I think currently in my Twitter
Find the
sphere.
Nazi?
Yeah, you're in your inner circle.
Yeah, in my Twitter sphere.
AEW style, your inner circle.
Yeah, in my inner circle. Has Been Hotel has been really popping.
Hotels have been really popular.
Has Been Hotel.
Has Been Hotel.
Yeah, it's really, there's a really dichotomous split between the two people that like it because it was an independently funded, very involved, animated project. But like the head artist drew weird shit when she was 13, and that's a problem.
Why?
You know.
13. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
All the artists draw very
Wah wah.
It's a bummer. It's fine though, I get it. But like, yeah, there's a lot of dichotomy between it, but it's not the end of the world.
So I always check out your various projects that I see on Twitter and whatnot. Would you like to? I don't know if everyone in the audience knows what it is that you do on Twitter. What are some of the fun things, videos that you post?
I believe.
Are you really? You are really just slinging for eBay sock puppets?
Yes, I am. Yes! Can we get some of the voices from it?
Well, my voice is.
What are some of your favorite characters, or one you can do for us, if you would?
Okay, I'm very partial to, because, okay, for those of you that aren't aware, eBay Sock Puppet Theater is this stupid, like, minute-ish thing I do where I don't even have sock puppets. I film my computer with the sock puppets on eBay, because you can buy sock puppets on eBay for like $40. They are not worth $40, but like this person is like, yeah, these sock puppets are great for $40, and I'm like, I'm just gonna film them, because I used to do it just by myself because I was lonely and I just like doing it, and I was like, this is kind of fun, so I went a little harder with it. Anyways, the first two are honestly my favorite. I think it's like Rachel and like yeah, it's like, oh Rachel, I love you dearly. And it's like, no, please, Reginald, not here. And it's like, but Rachel, why can't we? We're in love. We're stuck together statically.
Now, to clarify.
Yeah.
You are not doing a screen capture on your computer.
Oh no, I'm filming my computer.
And to get the different expressions or poses, how do you get that?
Well, because there's multiple angles of a sock. Because when you're selling something, you want to have different angles. So I use those for my blocking. I use those for my blocking, and then I fabricate a script based on the images that I have of the particular socks that I'm going to be using. And I pretty much just follow basic film technique of like rule of 180, so back and forth, or I'll sometimes like, if it works well for a motion, one of them is awesome because they'll have one, it's closed, and then it'll be open the next one, so I'll just like scan over to it and be like, oh. And it's just super fun, so it's all, and it's super good. But yeah, I mostly just kind of fabricate it as I need. Usually I start out with a basic concept, and then I'll like work it out as I go. I don't have a job, so I have a lot of free time to do that.
What is your Twitter handle so people can go find this?
I don't know, let me look it up.
Yeah, where can they find you?
At Comedy Bun?
I think it's at Comedy Bun.
It's either Comedy Bun or...
Yeah, at Comedy Bun.
You can tell self-promotion is the thing we care about.
Oh, yes.
You're really chilling, man. I mean, you did like pull that out of me, but I appreciate that. Yeah, at Comedy Bun, if you want to check out some weird things. Also, I just talk a lot about cartoons. I care a lot about cartoons.
I'm going to put you on the spot one more time.
What was that?
I'm going to put you on the spot one more time.
What's up?
So, if there's one thing in the future you want to see, what is it?
Like, in general?
Yeah, like the whole con theme is, you know, back in time and all that. So what's one thing in the future you want to see?
Capitalism abolished and we live in a Star Trek utopia based around, like, personal growth as a human being rather than pointless rat race caveman bullshit.
Wow. Where's Pepper Coyote?
To translate for anyone who didn't pick up, he wants the world where you can just be a furry 24/7.
Yes!
Because who gives a shit? Okay, the worst case scenario of people abolishing the 9 to 5 is that some fuckers are like painting Nikes for the rest of their life. And that's not the worst thing in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, give Chris and everybody a round of applause in the crowd. Check them out. Thank you very much.
Now it's happening.
Oh, you know what it's time for?
What time is it for, Iggy? Well, that was
Just sit back. Just sit back.
Okay.
Like, I'm Steve Allen. I'm looking for a career here, so.
I want you to know we just swung our legs over at the same time.
We didn't lock in. It's all right.
Aww.
She packed my bags last night. Pre-flight.
God damn.
0 out.
0 out.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. And I think I'm going to be as a kite by then.
What do you mean by then? Aren't you now?
No, I am very high. I'm Steve Allen. I only have one gig and this is it.
At least your hair is better than Shatner's.
At least I have one thing. My one thing. But I do have one more thing. I have another act coming up. My next act, if you will, is the one with the top hat, the former chair of First Squared, because now it's your problem.
Damn it!
Alkali Miss Boo!
I'm not allowed to have a mic. I was told by staff that things fall from the ceiling when I have a mic. I'm not allowed a mic anymore.
Not my con, not my problem.
Excellent job.
You get the broken mic.
I like that they call me the ex-con chair of First Squared. Here's the current con chair of First Squared. He fell for it. It was the long con. I appreciated the long con. See, I ran a convention, and once he saw me smiling, so he thought it was a good idea. You're dumb. Well, I unfortunately have to leave this con a little early. You see, we had an incident at work. We've gone through a few people in this position. I believe you guys call them HR representatives. We call them nothing because they keep them in a different part of the building. You see, I'm a stockbroker. So basically, I work in a locker room. Now, we've gone through a few different HR representatives because every year they have to go through sensitivity training for us. And if you put a bunch of rich assholes in a room and tell them, here's how to be nice to people, they're going to make fun of it. So our old HR rep, she was wonderful. We would walk into the room and she had obviously just finished chain smoking. None of us have ever met her before. There's an ashtray and a projector. And at 8 o'clock on the dot, she goes, shut the fuck up. We're like, you have our attention. And she pushes play, and a generic video starts to go. And before she sits down, goes, if you shut up during the movie, you can make fun of it after. And she sat down, and that was how we HR'd, and it was wonderful. But this year they brought in an outside company. For reasons, probably involving chain-smoking HR representatives. And this outside company, they weren't ready. They were not ready for us because at a moment in the circus, which was them trying to explain to a bunch of grown men that it's not okay to catcall at people, and them arguing, he tried to play a game with us. He said, in front of you are 2 pieces of cardboard. One of them is green, and one of them is red. And I am going to give you scenarios, and if you think it's okay, hold up the green one. And if you don't, hold up the red one. And my coworker, without missing a beat, said, what if it's questionable? Before this guy could answer, a totally different, oh, we'll just hold them both up. That's yellow. Everyone agree? And the room went, yes. And the guy standing at the front of the room had lost us. And he knew it. And he was fumbling around, but he's on a timetable, so it goes. What followed was horrific. Because apparently, if you're clever enough, everything is questionable. But that's not why I tell you the story. I'm telling you this story because it's a story about aging. At the beginning of this seminar, the gentleman standing at the front of the room was a young 20-something millennial. He had a future in front of him. By the end of this thing, he was standing at the front of the room shaking as he moved forward the slides, shaking so much that the slide he wanted to skip did not get skipped. Because, you know what? This is a good thing. I make fun of this because I think my coworkers are assholes. I think that what they did was totally inappropriate while being funny. I have to admit that. But nothing can beat him trying to skip the slide. This brilliant HR tactician who knew that he gave us a green and a red. And the slide he tried to skip at the very top said, notice there was no yellow, and that's because there's never a circumstance that's questionable. Meeting over. We learned nothing and enjoyed it. And we have a new HR person coming in at the end of the week. But however, since I cannot stay, there is a panel I'll be missing on Sunday. Unfortunately, I don't get to do one of my favorite panels, which is Convention War Stories. So would you like to hear them here? Yes! We're to go back to a classic. Who here has heard our Convention War Stories before? Who's been to a panel where I tell stories about the behind the scenes of what happens in the con? Good, we have a bunch of people here who haven't heard some of these. That's rare. Well, we're going to go with an older one. I tell, oh God, there's a few that are my Groundhog Day. Like this. Because I work for a convention in Chicago. That convention is known as MFF, Midwest Fur Fest. I had helped them for years. And at this convention, I was in charge of Con Suite. Con Suite at MFF is a wonderful place. It's a place where you can go have a quick snack, grab a soda, and return to the convention. I actually absolutely love that MFF worked for years to keep that room what it is. It was available to every person who showed up to the con. Then they got 10,000 people and looked at the budget and cried, so that's going away. During this time, they bought me something. They bought me a soda machine. Oh, a soda machine! I don't have to buy cans anymore? This'll be great! This will be absolutely, so it's supposed to be a 6-spout soda machine. 6. 1, 2, 3, and then other numbers. They out-Jewed me. They found a cheaper machine, a used cheaper machine, with 12 spouts on it, which means that I now have 12 sodas in a machine that has never been used and is just squirting shit in every direction. If you've ever watered your lawns, it was like that, but orange, root beer, soda, cocaine. Wait, hold on. Okay, a little bit of the last one. What ended up happening is the moment this thing clogged, which, by the way, was the moment we set it up, Pepsi exploded, and we damaged a large section of their carpet, which is fine. The hotel likes us. This just means it's my problem. And that sets the stage. It is 8 o'clock, Saturday night. I have run about 12 panels at this point. I have been in this room with all my free time. I am covered in fur, not because I'm wearing a fursuit, but because I am so sticky that while wandering around the convention, covered in soda juice, all the fur is... It's like the weirdest tar and feather while being kind of sexy, but not really. Well, we had an incident. No. We had an incident. The water stopped working. So when you went to the soda machine, all it gave you was syrup. Delicious diabetic syrup. And a child, a youth, a young fur, the next generation of this nonsense came up to the machine, put a cup up to it, and started pouring Code Red juice. Young man, give me a moment to prime the machine and I can get that fixed for you. He held the cup under the spigot, looked at me and went, I am 6'8". He was 4'2". I was impressed. He stepped away from the machine with a full cup of what I can only describe as, because I had to try it, liquid lifesaver, took a sip, and then went and joined his parents. So all I can think is, well, that's their problem now. I'm assuming he's the reason the fire alarm went off later that night. But we were done. We were done. This was the final straw. Myself, the director of finance, and the late, great Takaza all went into the back of the kitchen. We took a moment. We leaned against the counter. And over the radio, all of a sudden we heard, DuckTales! Woo! Thank you! And that was the response for the next 10 minutes. Allow me to help you with something. If you want to get people to stop doing something, don't yell at them, because we will do it more. Because somebody got on the radio and said, guys, the radio is for professional purposes only. They go, like Launchpad McQuack? Woo! And this kept going and kept going. And the radio is being used for nonsense. And one person is jumping in constantly and trying to get people to shut up. And he's getting so frustrated, which is making it funnier. And the director of finance, leaning against the counter, laughing, moved his elbow, and knocked over an entire bowl of instant oatmeal all over the ground. And I couldn't resist. I grabbed my radio and said, "This is Alkali, the oatmeal has been spilled." Woody, their director of finance, who had just knocked over the food, looked at me and turned white. He stopped breathing. He had that laugh where you can't actually get air into your body and you might die. Takaza, on the other hand, is doubling over, holding his sides, chortling uncontrollably. And I'm confused. It wasn't that funny. But the radio chimes on, "Alkali, this is security. Where has the oatmeal been spilled?" "Well, this is Alkali. It's everywhere." The director of finance composed himself as best he could, lifted himself up with his hand to try to make eye contact with me, and in a raspy, unclear voice said, "Alkali, oatmeal is code for money." The guy who walks around conventions collecting charity money had just announced into an open radio to security that I have dropped all the currency. And where is it? Everywhere. A glorious thing happened that day. MFF banned me from using a radio at their convention for 2 years. Those were the 2 best years of that con of my life. Guys, thank you so much. My name is Alkali. Oh, you're going to talk to me?
Yeah, we're going to talk to you.
Oh, that's never good. Hi.
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 Are you blinded?
Hi. Yeah, but that's just because he's bald and it's reflecting.
So how many years you been doing this?
Doing what?
Everything.
Everything. Well, I'm somewhere in my 30s, so about that long. I've been a furry for about 17 years.
How many of those years have been your convention furry years?
Convention furry years only about 13 or 14 convention going years. I started off at local events. I actually used to love the local events. In Chicago, we had 3 local events. There was softball, which turned into people who can't play sports running away from a ball, so that was fun. There was the barbecue, which was undercooked meat and way too many fursuits near a grill. And of course, there was bowling, which we called bowling ball through the floor, and we can't go back there anymore. We weren't really good at outings in Chicago for my first few years.
So we got AEW and all these other cool pop culture things going on. What's a big thing that you're either watching or checking out that this is cool to you or want to share with the audience?
Okay, fine. We're going to talk about my pop culture reference? All right, screw all y'all. Here's how big of a nerd I am. Fuck you, I love Gotham. It is the soap opera that every nerd needs. It is the stupidest thing you will ever find on TV, but damn if they don't do some good villain backstories.
Do you want to share the thing you just shared with me for Gotham that impressed the hell out of me?
Okay, I give full credit to the creators and writers of Gotham because they did one thing that I have nothing but respect for. They reviewed their source material. At this point, the live-action show Gotham has made references to almost every single instance of Batman, up into including having an extra. There was an extra in Season 2 of Gotham. He shows up for the first time and starts helping out Penguin. Apparently, as the story goes, the person on set who is in charge of continuity, who is a huge Batman fanatic, pulled over the producer and said, "Hey, I just noticed something." And they grabbed this extra and gave him a speaking role. And for 4 seasons, this guy's just around. And finally, he gets killed. And for one reason or another, he comes back in. A skinny man, a lawyer, an accountant. It didn't matter, because in the scene that he walks in, this skinny little twerp walks up to Penguin while holding a suitcase. And Penguin says, "Where have you been? Why didn't you find me earlier?" And he goes, he wouldn't let me. Who wouldn't let you? He opened his suitcase and pulled out a ventriloquist dummy. If any of you are aware of Batman the Animated Series, it was goddamn Mr. Big, or Scarface, it was Scarface. A villain from Batman the Animated Series, the stupidest villain you will ever encounter, and they nailed it. They've done Egghead, they've done Scarface. I'm so impressed with how good they are at finding the material that just makes me go, I remember that, and then smoke more. That's how I watch TV. Leave me alone. What?
Well, I was just going to say you got the Drag It show, and where can people follow you to, what's the Twitter or whatever to
Oh, right, hold on. We had to memorize our Twitter handles, right? I am at Comedy Bunny.
That's Alkali_Bismuth.
Thank you. At Alkali_Bismuth. You can also follow my show, The Drag It Show, if you are interested in that and have any love of the classic horror movies. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m., please join us for a creation that we've done. Xander the Blue has put an unbelievable amount of work into this. Join us for DST3K, that is Drag It Show 3000 or something like that, where we will show you guys the original Night of the Living Dead with the most ridiculous edits that you will ever find, because it's open source and we hate having free time, apparently. So I hope to see some of you there. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Alkali, for coming on the show. It's a great time. Stick around for just a minute. I'm going to have some. Yeah, you can hang out over here. I'm going to bring up our brand new con chair over here. Applause for our con chair, Poker Wall.
Later first.
Wait, you haven't even eaten it yet.
I was told everyone had to follow 621.
Good job.
621, huh?
621.
I love how Alkali's doing Dragor's job.
I'm sitting here.
So
Don't eat the microphone. I'm not recording you chewing. I'll wait till you talk.
And we're going to be here watching.
This is ASMR. Con chair ASMR.
Wait. Okay.
You got the radio calls and now you're just getting food.
Okay, seriously, if you all have ever seen the madness that is orchestrating herding cats at this level, watching a con chair eat is like seeing a unicorn.
It really is.
This is my power move.
This is your flex.
It's Poker's one moment of peace, and you're just enjoying all of the rage. Everyone's watching you right now.
This is called eating your feelings.
Oh, it's fine. I have candy.
The fatter you are, the closer your feelings resemble roast beef. I'm just gonna let you in on a fat guy secret.
That is not the only thing that looks like roast beef.
We're done here.
So, Poker, if I may ask you a question, once you're done chewing.
Yeah, sure.
I wouldn't wait for that.
Yeah, don't wait.
Yeah. So you've been a con chair for a bit now. What's like the biggest unexpected leap or something that's happened to you or something you've understood or felt that's kind of hit you in a something new you've learned as being a new con chair?
The lack of sleep. Wait. Previous years, I was a member of the board. I was used to not as much sleep. What I wasn't used to was trying to fall asleep, wake up, try and fall asleep again, wake up, try and fall asleep again. Messages from Iggy at 4 in the morning.
That's true. I'm Steve Allen.
As a con chair, you will be shocked as you're going to sleep the amount of random noises that sound exactly like the fire alarm going off. You'd be shocked.
I literally had that nightmare last night.
That's our going nude to school and failing a test. It's like, is the fire alarm going off again? No? Great. You go back to sleep, you find out the next morning, yes it did.
No!
All right, Poker, I have a question for you.
All right.
Have you experienced the moment where you're frazzled, you have breathing room, you're standing there, and your head of security walks up to you grinning?
You're an idiot.
That's a moment!
Oh, yeah! Get ready, buddy!
5!
glorious moment. You'll appreciate it when it happens. I like that we're making you talk with your mouth.
He's committing to chewing.
Good work. Iggy, ask him another question so he has to answer. It's funny to me.
So this is the back in time con. So like growing up, did you have like a sitcom or some show you'd watch growing up that's like, man, if I went back, like that'd be the thing I'd still be watching all the time or something like that?
Ooh. Yeah, I'd probably be watching, no, well, that wasn't until later in life. No, if I went back, Tiny Toons. I love Tiny Toons.
Yes. Underrated show.
So good.
We're all a little loony.
You gotta go with Gargoyles.
Gargoyles.
Gargoyles aged. If you haven't given it a chance since you were a kid, Gargoyles aged well. It is still a good show.
I want to watch a cartoon for entertainment.
What is this? What?
Oh no!
Did you just produce another sandwich?
Ladies and gentlemen, this man knows how to run conventions better than I did. My head is off to you. Goodbye.
Honestly, you make me consider giving up being a vegetarian because it's right there. It's right there.
I have bacon.
Do it. Unless it's for health reasons.
I even have a bacon scarf.
I like animals more than people.
I will say, I don't know if you've noticed this yet, but food tastes so much better when you're a con chair because you actually get to eat something, maybe.
I don't know if you've noticed, but some people eat their feelings, and I stress the food away. There's a barrier of stress between myself and food. And in my mind, somewhere I think, if I sit down long enough to eat that sandwich, security's gonna show up grinning at me. If I'm on the move and they can't get me, they can't tell me what they want to tell me, and that means it didn't happen. That's how that works, right?
Speaking of eating the sandwich, this is the greatest segue of all time. Speaking of eating the sandwich,
Oh, God.
we have a little musical act for you here. We're going to have Citrine come on up. I don't know what we have to set up for that, but
I'll look into that.
Yeah, we'll
you
figure
do
it
the
out.
thing.
Do you want me to be microphone sound again?
Are you serious?
Should I just stay up here?
Yeah, we're
please, Tim?
Are you serious? You didn't set up the stage for you to go, yes, get out of here, you're fired.
I'm fired?
You're fired. We're bringing in this new guy.
Don't fire him! He's my...
I'm fired, guys.
So I guess I'm the host now, and the entire time it's just going to be eating a sandwich.
You have to sit behind the desk and eat your sandwich.
Okay.
Here, I will help with this. This is here.
Well, hi everyone. Welcome to my show that's all made up off the top of my head. Hey, you're the host.
Apparently I'm eating, I'm the host, I'm eating food, and
All right.
I'm just going to sit here and be a highly distinguished actor who's been put on a BBC program.
So, how's that movie you were in? The one with the...
I'm sure you're aware there are the two steps.
I don't know about that. I only know about the games I used to play. I'm Clive Anderson.
All right. Foot
I make others play
There
games.
you go. Yep, we're good.
Oh, so you're a Twitch streamer, got it.
That's right. And I comment on them and I give them points.
Are you gonna stand or sit?
That's my shit.
Get the chair out of the way.
I have games in the name, man.
I think it. Was that the one? I thought he had glasses. Your glasses, he kind of had like
This
the
way. Microphone.
George Burns style. Like I think he. Yeah, you have the frames. So they're a little bit
Dude,
thicker.
my frames are like $27, alright?
But I wasn't. No, because I have the frameless, and I remember Clive Anderson did some kind of skit where he was reading something, and like he made a shtick of having the glasses, and he kept taking them off or something. I don't know if it was just a prescription thing or what, but in all seriousness, we have one of my favorite musical performances in the fandom, Citrine. And once we get set up here, we'll have Citrine do a few songs for us. While Poker just enjoys lunch.
And I get to sit down and I'm the film.
Is this...
This is like
if
the-
you didn't turn it... Okay. Are we good? Okay. Yeah, I think so, yeah. I can't tell. I think...
I can't tell either.
I can't...
Oh yeah,
Okay,
there
yeah.
it is. There it
I think
is.
you're on.
Yeah. I'm not paid to actually take care of the sound equipment, apparently. So, that's not a fire alarm, it's okay.
It's not a fire alarm.
I know.
Poker thought it was.
Thank you very much!
I'm gonna do 2 songs for you guys. I'll do both of my furry songs. One is the one that you guys probably have heard before. It's called Forever. And the second one, it's off my new CD. So it was commissioned by Krevin last year. He won it in the charity auction. So you guys haven't heard that one yet, so I'll save that one for last.
Here on a Thursday when I checked in. Can't wait to hang out with all my friends. But now that I'm here, I'm finally thinking, if it were up to me, I'd never check out again. So if I check out the day after never, 'cause that day never will be. Some say live and let live. Some say one day you'll forget. But oh no, not this, 'cause this is what heaven is. Here with all my in a few short days, I'll check out and make my way back to my empty house. And on the way home, I may cry my eyes out. But tonight, peace and dear won't bring me down. So if I could stay here forever, that'd be alright with me. And I'd check out the day after never, 'cause that day never will be. But some say live and let live. Some say one day you'll forget. But oh no, not this, 'cause this is what heaven is. Here with all my friends. I thought when I died, heaven is where I would be. But here with you, I see that heaven is right in front of me. So if I could stay here forever, that'd be alright with me. And I'd check out the day after never, 'cause that day never will be. Oh, if I could stay here forever, that'd be alright with me. And I'd leave the reality the day after never, 'cause that day never will be. Some say live and let live. Some say one day you'll forget. But oh no, not this, 'cause this is what heaven is. Here with you, my friends.
And here comes the new one. We'll see if I mess this one up. You You guys have never heard it, so you don't know. There's no pressure on this one. But this one's also about the furry fandom, and like I said, this was commissioned by Krebin last year. So this is the first time anyone's hearing it. It's on my new CD, so it's called Friends Forever.
Years ago at my first car, I was sitting all alone, 'cause I didn't know nobody. Someone walked up and said, "Hey buddy." Next thing I knew, I was at the rave, and I knew my life was forever changed. 'Cause for the first time I didn't feel alone, and I knew that I'd finally found my home. Friends forever, howling from the balcony and toasting to eternity. Life's whatever, you may as well spend it, only one chance to live it. Life's whatever, with friends like these, who cares about the species? Fun endeavors, cute little husky beans and macaroon broken wings. Come on, babe, who cares? Whatever, we're friends forever. Many miles I've traveled on just to get from con to con, and just to put this fursuit on and party with my friends all weekend long. Friends forever, howling from the balcony and toasting to eternity. Life's whatever, you may as well spend it, only one chance to live it. Life's whatever, friends like these, who cares about the species? Fun endeavors, cute little husky beans and immaculate griffin wings. Come on, babe, who cares? Whatever, we're friends forever. In that fantasy, back to reality. Hey, oh, and I have seen back to NCFC, GFM, and that too. Next one could be you, and we're friends forever, howling from the balcony and toasting to eternity. Life's whatever, you may as well spend it, only one chance to live it. Life's whatever, friends like these, who cares about the species? Fun endeavors, cute little husky beans and immaculate griffin wings. Come on, babe, who cares? Whatever. Come on, babe, who cares? Whatever. We're friends forever. Thanks so much, guys.
Katrine, you're out of sight.
I think Drager's gonna
That
help
was
you.
very insightful.
I think Drager's gonna take your guitar.
I know you saw that one coming.
And come on over here for have a seat. We'll give you a couple questions.
Where you want me, or you?
Either here.
Okay.
Just move your chair.
Yeah.
Once again, Citrine Husky, you're amazing. So, I guess I'll sit over here because I'm Clive Anderson and my mic doesn't work.
Oh.
It works now, I hope.
Here's my. I am being blinded. I understand exactly how our guests feel. So Citrine, you so I think you said you had a new album. What's the project? What's kind of going on with you and music?
So the past year's been crazy. You guys liked my album at For Reality last year, Love is Blind. And so since then, I released one album at Anthro, Ohio, and then I decided to release the third one here at For Reality again, and it's called In My Mind, and then I have a Christmas EP that'll be coming out for MFF, so that'll be fun.
Very cool. You said that I think you kind of gave me some thoughts that you're doing something special this weekend as well for the charity, right?
Yeah. So Fox and Pepper are amazing friends of mine, and they were like, hey, we have a dealer's table, and we have some space. Do you want to sell your CDs at our table? And so I thought that since this is the con that I sold my first CDs at, and on top of that, the charity is just amazing, guys. OAR is awesome. They're amazing.
Wonderful.
Yes. And so this weekend, I'm keeping track of it because I have physical copies with me, and they're at Fox and Pepper's dealer's table all weekend as long as they're here. And I'm going to tally it up, and on Sunday, 50% of all the proceeds from the CDs sold here at the convention go to OAR.
Wow. Yeah! That's amazing. That's very, very cool. So in terms of your music, kind of what's your inspiration, or what kind of, like when you go to write something, kind of what are you thinking about? I mean, obviously a lot of that you can tell in the songs, but is there anything kind of special that kind of hits you, or a moment where you're writing something? Is there something you'd like to share kind of in that regard?
Well, if you guys want to know a funny story, I wrote a depressing song when I was taking a crap this morning.
Wow!
I wish I was kidding.
That's how it works.
And I will never tell you guys what song that is if it gets released someday, because that would just be interesting. Yeah, I wrote this one. I took a shit. Yeah.
That's going to be a game now. Like they're just going to go down all the albums you got.
Oh, you don't want to know. Sometimes
it's dumb.
Yeah. Hold on, hun. Hold on, Snowflake. We're not. No, we're not having sex. No, I got to write this down.
Oh.
No. Yeah, being.
It's a bingo game now. Which one is it?
It really is.
Snowflake.
Yeah. Just ask her. I'm not kidding.
Where can people follow you? Website, Twitter? What's kind of the best place to check you out?
So I am Citrine Husky on Twitter and on Telegram and on YouTube. You can find all my music up there, just because I don't feel like charging for my music, for people that don't have the money. So I do put all my music up on YouTube. But at the same time, mainly my music is just, it's a little money here and there, and it mainly, I usually try and do it to help out the charity. I mainly sell at furry conventions, but yeah, you can find me on there. My music, my 3 albums just recently got taken care of, so I've got the contract and everything, so they're up on CD Baby, iTunes, Amazon, so you can actually buy them digitally if you would like.
Very cool. I didn't know that. Please give a round of applause to Citrine very much. Your work is always amazing. Thank you very much. I got you, Mike. Pleasure, my friend.
Yep, always a pleasure.
I'll have to go this way. Iggy, aren't there like 10 things or 11 things we want to do still?
What do you mean 10 things? I thought there were 11.
11 things.
What do you mean 11 things?
11 things.
We're going to make them up. Is it time for the top 10?
Yes, plus 1.
It's the top 10 plus 1. In binary, that's a different number. So who's reading them?
Do you have a list? Why are you holding both microphones?
Because I'm 2 microphones, and that is a bad sound. We're not doing that anymore.
I am so glad that's all that happened. Okay,
that one's not on anymore. But Tobe has the list. Actually.
Oh,
And that one's Droopy, the microphone. There is a list. They are numbered in bold, and someone may be able to help you.
That microphone needs a blue pill.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Jesus, now it's salute.
Hey, Tobe, would you like to? We need a drum roll. It's top 10 list time. We need a drum roll. Top 10 what, Tobe? I hope you can be loud.
Top 10 least forward-thinking uses of a time machine.
Top 10 least forward-thinking. What was that?
Least forward-thinking uses of a time machine.
Least forward-thinking uses of a time machine. Number 10.
Oh, do you want me to read these?
Yeah, you might as well. You're the only one that
I
has
thought it was going on the screen. Here, Tobe.
I was just waiting for the feedback from hell from that.
What part do you want me to read it?
They're in bold. There's a number next to them. You're going to look for 10 and work your way back.
Yeah.
They're not in order. This is a challenge.
The bold
It's not forward.
Yes, the bold one is the word. There's like 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah. Number 10.
Mickey Mouse now has nipples.
All right. Number 9.
I went back to put a penny in the bank and forgot about the fees.
Oops. Now you're bankrupt. Number 8.
Found out my kid grows up to be a dickhead.
That sucks. Number 7.
To find out how sick I'm gonna be after eating White Castle.
Would you go like one day in the future just to...
That's just an hour.
Or you need to go a week. Is it gonna be that bad? Number 6.
The British invasion is now led by Nickelback.
Number 5.
The pyramids now have nipples.
That's your fault, isn't it? Number 4.
Like they got the caps and they're just kind of like
We
geometrically.
built Santa's workshop in Malaysia, and
Well, someone's got to make the toys.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. It's job creation.
Yeah, we're creating jobs in Malaysia.
I'm ashamed we put that on the list.
I'm not. Number 3.
the Second Amendment is now the right to bees.
You got bees!
Bees! Oh my goodness.
What is the number 1?
2, we're on 2.
2. We're on 2. What is the number 2?
So I organized this merger between Ford and Nabisco, and now all airbags are full of Jell-O.
Xander, that was you, wasn't it?
It was me.
Yay! And
what's the number? The number 1.
To find out when my commission will be completed.
Too real.
Too real. So let's go with the number 2 one that actually got cheers. Hey Xander, what you doing?
I'm going up here.
Yes, you are. Come on up, Xander.
Xander the Blue, everyone.
I love how you introduced me. Hey everybody, here's this number 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not
right?
sorry.
Ah, yeah, you are. Aren't you right? You are sorry. Hi, Iggy. I'm on your show.
Are you a sit-down comic now?
I'm a sit-down. I'm on your couch.
You're on my-
I'm on your fake couch made of 4 chairs.
The way I've been feeling for the past several weeks, it's like Dr. Katz. You're just in squiggle vision right now. And considering this show's been mostly off the top of my head, it's kind of like that show.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the medieval times thing going on. I feel like I'm in the restaurant.
I thought we were in Les Miserables, but I like your idea better.
Yeah. So the theme of the con is time travel, and I was just thinking about this because my brother just saw the new Terminator movie, which I think is like the 7th one, right? And I was so pissed about it because they keep changing their mind on whether or not you can change the past. And it keeps changing with every movie. It's like the first Terminator. Okay, you can't change the past. This guy fucked Sarah Connor. That's the new Jesus. That's the storyline. And then number 2 for Terminator 2. Hey guys, you can change the past. We're gonna change everything. Yay. Terminator 3. Fuck you. That was a lie. We can't change the past at all. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I completely get it.
I'm getting whiplash. So.
Oh my goodness.
That's
it's like
my
time travel whiplash.
Yeah.
Do you have to go back in time to file a lawsuit on that?
Only if you use Doc Brown.
He's
He's on the same shit.
I mean, my follow-up was you have to go back and then forwards a bunch of times while filing in triplicate.
It's a recursive whiplash problem.
It's a recursive whiplash.
Nerd jokes. Yay.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
We heard a little bit about the project. I heard you've been stuck in a dragon hole for the past month or so. Tell us about that.
I was stuck in the unfun dragon hole, yes. I was I was editing forever and ever. And it was one of those projects where you start it and you're like, oh fuck, I have to finish this, don't I? So it's like the point of no return. It's like, if I stop now, I'm just going to be mad at myself. And then you keep going now if I really stop, I'm going to just kill myself. So.
Yeah, and all that latent energy that starts like the first 1/8 of the project, and you're just looking at this folder of files going, well, I need to do 20 more things that are now going to take 10 times as much time at Dragon Hole.
Dragon Hole.
Dragon Hole.
Were there any visitation rights to Dragon Hole?
It was cold and it was in the basement, but I made do. Come to my Dragon Hole. This is not a good thing I want out there, Dragger. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna get arrested.
That's going to be a Basement Con theme one year. Basement Con Xander's L, Basement L.
Xander's Dragon Hole.
No! Well, I'm going to spoil that.
We've got radiators and chains. All right. It's fun for the whole family.
It puts the house on its skin or else it gets the house again.
That's right. I didn't say what kind of family. It could be Manson family or something. Anyway, I'm moving on to November. Because it's no longer spooky times, and I finished the fucking project. I hope you all come tomorrow and check it out. But other than that, fuck that. Jesus Christ. So
this is what we call a love-hate relationship.
By the way, how did the Kanye West thing come out?
we never heard back from the motherfucker. So I think I just gotta fucking figure out a way to tell it on stage now. Because who cares?
It's fair game.
Yeah.
It's fair game.
For those who don't know, and I told this story last time, basically I was working at an AR company and we made 3D things happen. And somehow my boss comes to me on Friday night and says, we need you to do an animation of Kanye West for Kanye West. And I'm like, what? So basically I had to do an animation of Kanye West like rapping in front of the Chicago skyline, just to feed his ego and fillet himself. And so I'm sucking Kanye's dick all weekend. I'm just like servicing him. So every time I'm going in the basement, I'm like, time to suck Kanye's dick. Every time Nico is telling me, time to suck Kanye's dick, I'm like, time to suck Kanye's dick. It's like the old Dunkin' Donuts commercials, yeah? That's our future. That's the future if we fuck up. It's sucking Kanye's dick on it.
But he's actually going to be touring around in a Dunkin' Donuts truck and just randomly pulling over and unzipping, and he thinks that will be like winning the lottery for whoever's first in line.
He's creating jobs. Yeah, exactly. You get it.
He's creating blowjobs. Yeah.
You suck it and you wait for the ding ding to go.
No.
And if confetti comes out, yeah.
Wait. Is there someone else with a bell, or is Kanye so self-involved he actually goes ding ding right before it happens?
Ding ding. That's his courtesy. It's just like look out. It's ding ding.
It's just Kanye going ding ding.
I'm glad I could come on here to talk about sucking Kanye's dick. Jesus Christ. Hi Iggy. Let's talk about something else.
Let's talk about something else. So there was Dragon Show here today.
Yes.
Kind of what's going on with that project and some of your other streaming stuff besides Mistake Tomorrow.
Well, I'm working on lots of little secret projects all over the place that I can't talk about here, but...
Ooh, speaking of topical.
Let's not talk... I mean, obviously I want you guys all to come out to Dragon Show on YouTube and DragonShow.com, or Dragon Show on Twitter, Xander LeBlue on Twitter, and good lord, I sound like an idiot. What? Oh, Twitch? Yeah, we are kind of on Twitch, but not really at the same time.
All right, quick show of hands. Who here watches live streaming on YouTube?
I do live streaming.
Who here watches live streaming on Twitch?
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get what I wanted out of that, sorry.
Well, we do both, and they don't show up on the Twitch channel, so whatever. Anyway, hi.
Okay, so last question. So if there was one thing in the future you wish we had, or something, just sort of a vision for the future, try not to go full, pepper on this like Chris did earlier.
I'll go half and half.
You want half and half?
Half and half ridiculous and
okay.
I want to see.
I just thought you wanted creamer, and I'm like, well.
No. I want to see a parade of sex working robots marching for their rights. That's the future I'm seeing, because eventually we're gonna make the sex robots, right?
That's like the basis of my
And basically, yeah. I swear, in 5 years, we're gonna accidentally give them feelings, and we're like, we gotta do something about this now. And you just can't shut them off. So they're gonna have a fucking parade. It's great.
You just created like a whole line of new Terminator films where they just go back in time to make them sex robots and not sex robots ever again.
The Terminator. It just got that.
What is the first feeling they give to a robot that gives self-awareness?
I love.
Well, I mean,
There you go.
I got it.
It's the thumbs up. Didn't you see in the lava when it's going down? Now it's a positive. That was hope for the future. It's a flaming hand in lava.
Future bird.
That's right.
I mean, I would have gone with ping dong.
Ding dong.
Actually, my hope for the future, just to make it interesting, is I want to see Kanye West be next president.
No!
No! Bam!
That's what I'm locking myself in.
Check out Xander the Blue.
Thanks,
Dragon Show tomorrow night. Mistake.
I believe
Yes,
it.
Monster and all those other wonderful things. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Xander the Blue.
I'll trade a blunt one for Kanye.
Do we have more time? I see with Fox and Pepper like to come out of here.
What time does this show end?
Yeah, I think.
Now.
Do you want to come up or you want to just set up?
I want a sound check.
You want a sound check? That sounds like a great idea. Thank you very much. That's the Late Show.
Give me a bat.
Give it up for your host, Iggy.
I'm Iggy. Thank you very much to Dragor for being my co-host. Chris, Xander, Citrine, Poker, Alkali, Tope was helping us out at AV, and the AV staff was helping us out as well. Thank you very much. Good night.
Coming up next in here, Fox and Pepper in concert in 30 minutes.
Yeah, if we can get everyone out so they can do their sound check in that business, they'll be back for their show in a few minutes.
What that person said.
Go on, Skillshare.
Go to Skillshare. I'm going to grab my stuff.
Silver Gatoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gatoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gatoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.